Hello, everyone, and welcome back to weekly Emmy talk. I think probably three at this point. Um, Today, we covered drama last week. It was very fun. Now we're going to be talking about limited series. Lots of good shows here. It wasn't looking like a good lineup, to be honest, at the start of the season, but there are some incredible shows in here now at this point. So yeah, lots to talk about. I'm joined by Yutaka
Hello,
and Anthony
everyone.
to talk about some limited series. But before we get into any of that, as we do at the beginning of every week, what have you been watching lately? Let's go to Anthony first.
Oh, you know, I moved out of my dorm, so
Mm,
I've been watching the dreams in my head when I can sleep on the plane.
those are good. It's a good
They're
thing to
quite
watch.
entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. That's just you in a different multiverse, you know?
Yeah, that's me in a different, exactly.
Yeah.
But I see Top Gun 2 on Tuesday, so I look
Oh,
forward to it.
nice, nice, very nice. How about you, Utaka?
Actually, let's see here. I watched Revealer, Glorious, Unhuman, Torn Hearts, and feel like I started a series. I can't remember. It's all blending.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
So,
Cool, cool.
and
Me
Top Gun on
lately.
Monday.
Oh, nice. I still need to watch the first one before I go see the second one. So
Same.
yeah, yeah. Different time.
I know I'm old.
86. It's okay. It's okay. You've got the nostalgia. I'm sure it'll help with the viewing. Um, but what I've been watching lately, I've just been mostly lately watching The Staircase, which we will get into, as well as Hacks and Barry, which are coming out weekly, which we will talk about next week in the comedy categories. So yeah, getting right into it. Limited series, the main top category here. I guess I can start. This is very difficult for me for what I have at number one, but I think the rest is relatively easy. Right now, I think I'm going to say The Staircase is my number one, even though there's not a ton of buzz. It's HBO, it's star-studded, and in my opinion, I haven't seen all of these. I've seen most of them. In my opinion, so far, I think it is easily the best of them all. I'd also say it's easily the most cinematic of them all. The filmmaking on display within this show, and it's like there's a whole filmmaking aspect to it, like documentarians and like editing and all that stuff. And I think that really enhances the show. It's really well done. Highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. So I'm gonna put that out there as my number one. I think the easy number two would be Dropout, which was a huge deal. But I think that may get love somewhere else, as it should. There's kind of one main star of that show. Then I have White Lotus, which was really, really good. I loved that show. Kind of iffy on it being a limited series, even though it's coming back with like kind of a different cast, but who knows?
The Big
Um,
Little Lies trajectory,
yeah,
it seems.
yeah, kind of cheating their way, but it was a little while ago too, and I don't think the buzz has really maintained. And it's also HBO, which Staircase is. So I think if they have to prioritize one, I would say prioritize Staircase, but we shall see. And then the rest, I think, will probably get in there, but I don't think they have a shot at winning. I've got Dope Sick, Made, and Under the Banner of Heaven. That Andrew Garfield will carry that all the way in. How about you, Yutaka? What do you have for
Okay,
limited
so it's
series?
six, right?
Six, yeah.
As much as I love the staircase, I still think Dope Sick. And I say that
Oh,
because there's still like, I mean, it's Michael Keaton,
it
and
is.
I don't know. It was a very good series. I would say next, I'm gonna go with Made. I think that's
Mm,
gonna be. I know it was really talked about, or when it came out, back when it came out, it was talked very well about, or whatnot. But and I liked it, and we're gonna argue later about it. Then next, I would say White Lotus, Staircase, The Dropout, and I'll say Under the Banner of Heaven. But have any of you tried to watch that yet?
no, no. I haven't heard many people
Ooh,
talk about it either, which is surprising because it's got Andrew Garfield. But I don't really know what else would take its
that's
place because First Lady
it
is
is
kind
a
of a flop.
choice.
And Station 11, which is a really good show, no one is also talking about that, and that was a while ago.
Well, that's HBO Max, so that's kind of hard. But yeah, I get you on that. Maybe Midnight Mass might, like move up. I doubt it.
We can dream. I really hope so. It's such a good show. But that was like last summer too. So it's gonna be rough. Maybe Pam and Tommy. Who knows?
I'm checking. Unless the rules are different for this year, it seems that they only do 5 nominations for this category. So
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh,
Unforgiven
okay.
Heaven might not need to be mentioned. Yeah, because
I
last
see.
year it was Queen's Gambit 1, I May Destroy You, Mayor of Easttown, Underground Railroad, and WandaVision were the other nominees. That was a great year.
Okay.
And the year before was 5 nominees. So yeah, I think they only do 5 in this category.
All right. Bye, Under the Banner of Heaven.
Yeah, I would kick that out probably.
Yeah.
Either that or Maid. But I think Maid has more buzz. Sorry. I know you like Maid, but it was a while ago.
Okay. All right. Okay.
How about you, Anthony? What do you have?
I agree with Utaka. I think Dope Sick is in the number 1 position. I think it's an important story, and I think it was effective. And I think also Michael Keaton is a major force behind that show. He's a producer on the show, and it just feels like I feel like a lot of these other shows are more entertainment pieces, or that one feels like it has a message to say and it has real substance. And I think that will take it. I also think Hulu is very smart with their campaigns in television, at least. We saw they were the first to pull off the Best Drama Series award for a streamer with Handmaid's Tale, so beating out Netflix.
True.
So I think when they have the goods, I think they know how to position themselves, and I think this is one of the cases that they do. Next up for me, I have The White Lotus. I think the fact that the show is coming back for season 2 shows how much love there is for it. I also think there's a lot of love for Mike White as a creator. So I have that in the second place. Then I have The Dropout. I think that we love a good biopic or bio series. And this one, I think, due to Amanda Seyfried's performance, which we'll talk to, I think like that performance helped give this show credibility. So I put that at 3. The Staircase at 4 for now, just because it just launched. We have to see if it has legs. It may be a situation like The Undoing, where a lot of people are raving about it or like talking about it when it starts, but then it fades away, because that has the potential with mysteries. Because remind me, is The Staircase, are all the episodes released, or are they still releasing new episodes?
They're still releasing. I think next week may be the last week. I think there's 6 episodes, if I'm right.
So just in this point in time, I'm always worried about mysteries, because you only are as good as your finale when it comes to that. That's what happened to The Undoing and Wyatt. I think, as we mentioned, I don't think it got nominated for limited series.
That's true,
no.
but this is
based
based off
on
a true
real
story,
life.
so
You
it's
can't really change it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
true, but again, I still think that when it comes to voting, if the story is well told, it doesn't matter how good your true.
Oh, sure.
There's been countless true stories
Yeah.
that have been botched cinematically. So that's my thing, is like, if people don't feel satisfied by a mystery, then rarely do I think they give it a win. So that's why I have it at number 4. And then Made at 5. This was a big juggernaut when it came out. I wonder if people remember it. I feel like there is a little bit of recency bias, as always, with the Emmys, because of how much there is to watch. And so I wonder with this, if it's able to like if it's able to, what I call the Get Out campaign, which is like, remember us from so long ago. So it has the potential. Margot Robbie's a producer behind it, and she's been proven to be a very good producer. So maybe she can do some work to get some attention within the industry, like stuff that we wouldn't see on the outside. But yeah, overall, I think Dope Sick is probably it's the clearest, I think, as far as an actual win, what I imagine seeing on that stage.
Yeah, I have not seen that show yet, so maybe when I seen it, I can speak more to it. But that's one of the few on my list currently.
It's very good.
You said that is Hulu, right?
Yeah.
So Hulu's got 2, and it seems like HBO's got 2 in here.
Yeah,
So
and
you're
HBO.
gonna have to prioritize.
But so is The Staircase just HBO, or is that HBO Max? Like an HBO Max?
That's a good question.
Because
I
The
think
White
it's
Lotus is
HBO
both.
Max.
The White Lotus was an HBO original, I believe.
This is HBO
This is
Max.
HBO Max, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
That's
HBO Max
interesting.
logo comes at the beginning. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see if that affects like how HBO runs these campaigns for these technically two separate entities. Like, do they want to bolster HBO Max and so they'll put more into the staircase, or is HBO proper such a juggernaut? It's an interesting thing because they haven't consolidated them yet.
I didn't even think of that.
I also wonder how much of the industry knows that White Lotus is technically coming back again, and if they know we can honor it again, even if though it's going to be a different cast. Besides like two people.
It's basically American Horror Story though, so I don't see that it's going to be an issue. I think people were still like, really? But I think since American Horror Story blew that wide open, well, really, since Ryan Murphy changed that game with several of his series, I mean, and they've already released some of the cast. I mean,
Aubrey Plaza. That's amazing.
I'm excited.
Ingrid Goes West. If you haven't seen it, it's very underrated.
Such a good movie. Elizabeth Olsen. What's his name? Wyatt
Russell is in there. O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
A great movie.
Really good.
I think it was on Hulu. I watched it last year. Let me see if it's still on there. Because she's great.
I believe so.
But that's the thing about The White Lotus is that, you know, there's the potential of like, oh, we'll have another chance. Like limited series, like you're like, it's not like Dope Sick is getting a season 2. So that may affect the voting. And then 2, like, The White Lotus is fun, but I don't think it hits you. Like Dope Sick hits you, man. Like it really affects you and gets you, like, I think similar to what Spotlight did when it won Best Picture, like the issue at the center affected you so much that it made people want to vote for it. I could see that same narrative happening here, where like The White Lotus is just a fun entertainment, off-kilter drama, like that type of dramedy.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we have a little bit of different lists there, but we shall see as the season continues. It is only it's only May, so we've got many months to go. Next up, TV movie. This is always an interesting category. So I haven't changed a ton here. My number one is still The Fallout. It's the only one of these I've seen, I think. So it was a really good movie, really well done. That's why I have it as my number one. It's also the one I've seen talked about the most. All these other ones I don't see talked about a ton. But number two, I do have The Survivor, which has gotten some good buzz, especially for Ben Foster's performance. Then I've got Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, Christmas, not playlist, Ray Donovan the movie, and then Help. But I do wonder, it just came out this past weekend, there's lots of talk about that Chippendales Rescue Rangers movie, which is number 6 at Gold Derby. I mean, you never know, but I don't think so right now.
That seems more like a surprise entertainment. Like people are surprised of like how fun it is, but I don't see that actually like making its way to the Emmy stage.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you have, Anthony, for the 5 TV movies?
So I have The Survivor. I think Ben Foster. It's because it was one of those movies that like played at festivals. So like I think that's what always helps this. It's when movies could have gone to theaters, but a streamer picked it up. So The Survivor. I have The House from Netflix. I Want You Back, Amazon Prime Video. Kimmy, HBO Max. And then I'm putting in The Fallout, the Jenna Ortega school shooting film, because I think that had like, for a TV movie that wasn't like a streaming show, it wasn't like a limited series, like for a TV movie that had a bigger awareness than most, and I think that might help it. I also think, again, the subject material, I think there's a lot of respect for that film, so I'm going to put that in my number 5 spot. The Ray Donovan, the movie, I was toying with because I'm not sure how popular Ray Donovan is. I feel like Liev Schreiber has gotten in past years, but I'm not sure how positive they are on the show. My question would be, what did El Camino do, the Breaking Bad movie? I'm going to look that up now, because if that got nominated, you could just say it's Breaking Bad, but if that didn't get nominated, then I don't think in any way does this. So let me just check that.
That's true. Yeah, there are a few that you mentioned that I completely forgot about. I do think Kimmy has a really good shot of getting in there. So
Steven Soderbergh, respected in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Yutaka?
I have Survivor at the top. I mean, it's Ben Foster, and it is a really
Yeah.
good performance. I would also then go with The Fallout because I think when it did, I mean, I think it had buzz when it came out, and I also think kind of Jenna Ortega is still on everybody's,
Yeah.
like
She's
tongueless
everywhere.
lips, whatever. I can't think of the phrase, but I mean, everybody's talking about Jenna Ortega, and she's being cast in everything. So I'm curious to see how much Roku's really gonna push for Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. I'm personally
Yeah.
happy because I did watch the series, and so it was nice for them to get a happy ending, so to speak. I don't know if any love will happen for it.
That's true.
Ray Donovan, I think, is a solid one. I've not seen Help, so I don't know. So I'm gonna go with Kimmy.
Yeah.
I think that has a better shot. So that's
Yeah.
what I would have.
I would kick Help out for Kimmy just because Help is, I think, like Channel 4 or something. It's not like some huge distributor. I also wonder about that movie, I Want You Back from Amazon Prime. That was a
Very
good
high
movie.
ratings. It has like 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I Want You
It was
Back.
really good.
El Camino was nominated. It lost to Bad Education, the Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney film. That was
But
quite
that
good.
was
Yeah.
so good.
It was really great. And this category does have a tradition of nominating. Like they nominated the Deadwood movie. They nominated Bandersnatch. They gave Bandersnatch one. They nominated the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So often do the TV movies based on TV shows get in. So maybe Ray Donovan does get in potentially.
Yeah.
I could
That
see
is-
it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showtime. Yeah. I've
Maybe
not.
The House. Take out the
I
House.
haven't heard of
and
The
put Ray
House.
Donovan.
What is The House?
I'm I like to check all the other places. It's
Yeah.
Mia Goth, Helena Bonham Carter.
Mhm.
It has 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
It's a British adult stop motion animated black comedy. And
Oh.
it got great reviews. Variety is pegging it as a potential person, which I go
Yeah.
to check because the TV movies are all like they're so independent, like even more than limited series. Like they're very isolated. So I always try to see what they're checking out. They also have
Yeah.
Fresh potentially, but I think that's too genre. That's too
Yeah.
genre-y, I think, for mass appeal.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. Okay, so that's TV
Kind of a
movie.
shame. Fresh was
It
really
is.
good.
I wasn't a huge fan of it personally, but to each their own. Sebastian Stan's got his other limited series stuff to worry about.
It should be noted this is the only one of these like major awards of the creative arts Emmys. Like television movie is not a primetime Emmy for some reason.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, I forgot
how they
about that.
Separate it.
Which of course
Yeah.
I believe like you can be nominated for acting in a limited series or movie, and that's a primetime Emmy category. But the actual movies themselves are creative arts Emmys. It's a weird distinction.
Yes,
So bizarre to me.
it is weird. So here's a big category. This is probably the craziest one of them all for me. Movie limited actress. Okay, I think number one obviously should be, and I have it as Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout. She's incredible. Breakout performance for her. Easily the best work I've seen her do, and I think it's hopefully going to help her get a lot more work, serious work going forward in her career because she hasn't been given a ton of opportunities so far. And that's what TV can do for actors. Two, I do have Margaret Qualley for Maid. I've heard incredible things about her performance, so I'm sure she's very good in it. I still have to see it. Then I've got recent Oscar winner Jessica Chastain for Scenes from a Marriage.
Doesn't that feel good to say?
It does. She deserves an Oscar. I don't know if she has an
Academy
Emmy.
Award winner
But,
Jessica Chastain. That
Yeah.
feels so nice.
It's easy to forget sometimes because some other stuff overshadowed said night.
So we don't talk about Bruno. Yes, what a
Yeah, that
wonderful
performance
combination.
just like I forgot about everything else. It was so good.
Didn't you love when they did an opening number an hour and 45 minutes into the show? It was just
I know.
so clever. It was like Memento, the ceremony.
Yeah. A 3-hour, 40-minute ceremony. It's incredible.
Really funny. I like that.
The next, I do still think she's probably going to get in just because she's Viola Davis for the First Lady.
Oh, wow.
Even though there's not a ton of great talk about her, She's Viola Davis, and she's playing Michelle Obama. And I think there'll be plenty of people who probably didn't even see the series and just see it's Viola Davis playing Michelle Obama and are like, oh, okay, I'm sure she did good. Then I've got Lily James for Pam and Tommy. Really good work here, especially in the last few episodes. So I really hope she does get in there. Then last place, I haven't seen this show, but when I hear anyone talk about the show, they always mention her. Anne Hathaway for We Crashed. I've heard she's really good in that show. She's a movie.
What a comeback this year between that and James Gray's Armageddon Time, which is getting positive reactions. I love Anne Hathaway, and I thought the way that we kind of got mad at her for being happy over her Oscar win was ridiculous.
It was,
you know? Yeah. And she was the eternal. I got lumped with the kid who doesn't want to do the school project with the Oscar hosting, and I thought she made up for it the best she could.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her.
I'm happy. I would love if she got in.
Yeah, she deserves much more love and work. I mean, the only thing she's gotten in the past few years was that terrible witch movie. So she deserves better. Oh, I did not like it.
It was fun. She was chewing the scenery. I don't know. I think it was fun to watch at home on HBO Max. It was a nice matinee. And she was good in Ocean's 8. I liked her in Ocean's 8 a lot.
Yes, she was good. She was one of the best parts of that movie, even though that movie wasn't very good. But moving on. Lots of disagreement here. Yutaka, what do you have for limited series actress?
Margaret Qualley as number one. I really feel that's going to carry. You just need to see it. I do think Amanda Seyfried would be second, because I think right now that's all we're all talking about, because it was a very good performance. I think obviously, yes, Oscar winner Jessica Chastain will get in there. It was a good show. I'm gonna go with Claire Foy, A British Scandal. Because people maybe. Because I think she's gonna get. I guess I'll go Viola Davis in 5 for the First Lady. From what I'm hearing, I'm not sure on that one. And then I would say Julia Garner for Inventing Anna, even though I think Ozark's gonna cancel that.
Yeah, possibly. And I think this is another case where I think there is some sort. I would have to look over it again. Where the Emmys this year, there are 5 spots usually for these categories and limited series, but I think there's some sort of rule, kind of like the Best Picture at the Oscars, where if it gets enough votes, it can have the 6th spot, which is why Gold Derby has 6 spots here.
Variety also has 6 spots. That's what I'm looking at. So I believe we have 6 for this category.
Yeah. So if your 6 might not make it, whatever happens. But yeah, what do you have, Anthony?
I have Amanda Seyfried as number 1. I think that she's due for something like this. I think we started to see it a little bit with Mank, but I think that movie just overall didn't support her in the way to get her the win. Though I would have loved if she won, because if she had won, because Glenn Close was also nominated for Hillbilly Elegy, then Glenn Close would have lost to every generation of Mamma Mia, which I thought would be hilarious. But regardless, I think Amanda Seyfried, again, I think there is a lot of I think there is respect for her. I think that this is a show that really shows up who she is as an actor. And I am going to put her at number 1. Margaret Qualley would be the Jarrell Jerome route of when he won for When They See Us, as a newcoming talent who made their name in a big splashy Best Picture nominee. Of course, Margaret Qualley, I think before this, most known for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. At least that's where I knew her from. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's possible. Again, it's just a question of if people remember Made. And True. Netflix has a lot of the Netflix strategy is just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, like they're Joey and Rachel throwing wet paper towels at the door and Friends. Yeah. So we'll see what happens in terms of a campaign there. Jessica Chastain, I think, will benefit from her Academy Award win with Scenes from a Marriage in my number 3 position. Number 4, I'm going to put Lily James. I'm worried about whether I think she's safe because there is so much dignity in this performance. But for the rest of it, I do not think a show that preaches consent that did not get consent from Pamela Anderson is going to do well overall. So I think she will be I possibly, we'll see when we get in this conversation, we'll see how many more nominees or if it's a shorter pool for the men. But I'm wary about this overall, but I think she will get in, and it is a worthy performance on its own. I think she really, without her, personally, I think the show would have been a complete misfire.
Yeah.
Then number 5, I have Anne Hathaway for We Crashed. I think there is a little bit of like respect for when again, just similar to Jessica Chastain, but of course she did this before her Oscar win. When an Oscar winner comes to television, I think that there is a little bit more of attention given to them, kind of like the Big Little Lies crowd when they were all up for that category. Laura Dern, I think, for The Tale, I believe she won, or at least she was nominated for that. So I'm going to put Anne Hathaway at 5, and then I'm going to put Claire Foy at 6. They love her. She won for season 2 of The Crown. And I think that this was what the Ben Whishaw, like that was that thing, which I think did very well. I think was respected, and us Americans, we love the Brits, so I'm gonna put her in over people like Elle Fanning, Julia Garner, and Viola Davis, because I feel like Viola Davis, I think, shot herself in the foot with the critics serve no purpose.
Yeah,
I think that's hard, especially because I imagine some of these people voting are either they're in the industry, and so when you're attacking such a fundamental part of the industry, I can't imagine that's going to make you many friends. And I also think that, like, I don't know, I feel like we give Viola so much that I think it's okay if she misses for this one, and nobody's watching this show. Like, How to Get Away with Murder, like anything Shonda Rhimes does has an audience. I don't know how big the audience is for the First Lady. And then Julia Garner, Elle Fanning, I feel like those two are very similar performances. So I feel like, in terms of like what they represent, if you're looking for a narrative, so I imagine they cancel each other out. And Julia Garner is going to be taken care of and supporting actress in the drama series. So definitely. I feel confident in Claire Foy getting in. Though I would love, just because I love her, and I would love to see her get any nomination. If Michelle Pfeiffer would, I'd rather Michelle Pfeiffer be like the First Lady, like contender, because I think she deserves some. I mean, I would have like Murder on the Orient Express. I thought she was fantastic in that. So like, I feel like she's a really great. She's having a nice comeback. The only other one I would say look out for is maybe Jessica Biel and Candy. That just debuted. So maybe if it spirals, it can get some nice headway. But I feel good about Claire Foy, so I'm going to keep my 6 as her.
Yeah. I hear Michelle Pfeiffer from the people who have seen the show. Most people say she is the standout from what I've heard.
I mean, most cases, whatever you watch with her in it, she is the standout.
She's
going back to like Batman Returns, Grease 2.
She always delivers. Yeah. I would also shout out quickly, I don't think she has a chance of getting in there, but Mackenzie Davis in Station 11. No one's really seen the show, but she's really good in it. But I don't think she has a great shot, so I just want to shout her out.
Oh, I just want to throw this out there because I feel like Zendaya was not necessarily being predicted the year of Euphoria, and then she got in there and it surprised people. So maybe the same thing will happen with Jenna Ortega in The Fallout, especially because it's the only one that's like a TV movie that may isolate her. So just a potential. I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised because she's like everywhere. She
is.
But was her performance that good though?
I mean, I don't think
probably not.
If you start judging this based on whether the performances are good, I mean,
we have Viola Davis in our picks, Yutaka.
Yeah, so
I know. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I know.
I think Jenna Ortega's too young right now. Well,
Zendaya again, something like what, 24, 25?
She had a bigger presence in the industry, though. I think.
Zendaya, I grant you, she was. She had Spider-Man and Greatest Showman. I'm just saying, if they want to pop the TV bubble, the TV movie bubble, excuse me. And if the Fallout, let's say the Fallout gets in for TV movie, I think she could go along for the ride. I just want to, in case it happens, I want there to be some precedence.
Gotcha. Definitely possible. Now on to movie limited actor, where I'll start up here. I think there is a clear front runner. It is Michael Keaton for Dopesick. He's my number 1. My very, 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 very close number 2 is Colin Firth for The Staircase. I mean, well-renowned actor. Everyone seems to love him. I think this is one. You think so?
No. Colin Firth is an Oscar winner, so just throwing that out there.
He's an Oscar winner. Yes, unlike sadly Michael Keaton. Sorry, he should be, but that has not happened yet. But Colin Firth in The Staircase, I think this is one of his best performances that at least I've seen. I mean, he goes through the whole gamut here. I mean, it's incredible what he does. Just blows my mind. He carries the whole show. So yeah, he's really good. I haven't seen Michael Keaton in Dope Sick, so I can't compare the two, but I know he has more buzz right now, so I'm keeping him as my number one. But we shall see with Colin Firth, because I don't know. I just think that's really impressive stuff from him. Then I've got Ben Foster for The Survivor. This movie has already been seen. People have already raved about his performance. He's a movie star, kind of. I wouldn't say he's like hugely well known, but he's definitely got his name up in the industry. Then I've got Oscar Isaac for Scenes from a Marriage. I do think he will be there along with Jessica Chastain. He gives a really good performance here. He also gives a good performance in Moon Knight, but I think this will be the more Emmy show. Then I've got Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven. He's really good. I haven't seen the show, but I'm sure he's really good in it. Because he's Andrew Garfield. And this is his last thing he's doing for a while. Apparently he's taking a break after this show. So they may want to honor him with that. So yeah, I think he'll get in there. And then I'm very torn on this last spot. I'm between Sebastian Stan and Paul Bettany, just because I haven't heard a ton about A Very British Scandal. I think I'm going to go with Sebastian Stan. But I would also say look out. I'll stick to Sebastian Stan for now, but I'd also say look out for Samuel L. Jackson in The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. That's an Apple TV movie, I believe. Maybe a show.
It's a series.
It's a series, yeah.
I thought it was a movie too. It was a series.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But I think he's Samuel L. Jackson, and it seems like kind of a Beatty role, so it's definitely possible. But yeah, those are my 6. What do you have, Yutaka, as your 6th unlimited actor?
I mean, same. Well, almost same. Yes, Michael Keaton, absolutely. I really think it's still his to lose. I think because of the heat that's coming with it, I would say Ben Foster is 2. I would then, because I really do love Colin Firth, he would be my number 3 because he's incredible in The Staircase. I think 4 would still be Oscar Isaac from Scenes from Marriage, because I still think that's, in everybody's, heads. And for 5, I'm going to go Sebastian Stan, Pam and Tommy. Yeah. Kind of mixed on that. And I'm still going to say Paul Bettany for A Very British Scandal, because I mean, the Emmys love that stuff. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, even though I see possibly Samuel L. Jackson when I think of either of those two. I see him moving up. So
yeah, definitely possible, because he is Samuel L. Jackson. How about you, Anthony? What do you have here?
Well, not since Mahershala Ali's I Am a Muslim speech do I think a SAG speech has influenced voting the same way that it did with Michael Keaton. First missing his category because he was in the bathroom, and then delivering such a powerful, as powerful as the show that
really good speech.
He gives a great performance. And I think people want to hear him give a speech again, honestly. I feel like this is one of those cases that they're going to vote to see that speech. But he's completely deserving. He's a fantastic actor. Nothing will make up for his loss for Birdman, but this is a nice consolation.
Yeah.
Then 2, Ben Foster, as we've said, great actor, meaty role. Then Colin Firth, filling in our Hugh Grant and the Undoing role in terms of that spot. Then I have Oscar Isaac. I think Moon Knight will help him in terms of just he had a great year, similar to Scarlett Johansson in supporting actress for Marriage Story and Jojo Rabbit and Avengers Endgame. It helped her get an awareness, though I don't think it'll give him a win. We'll see, though. We'll see. But I did hear more about Chastain than Isaac when it came to that.
Yeah. She's a little better in the show also. She gets more to do.
Yeah. And then I'm torn. I think 5, I'll go Garfield, Under the Banner of Heaven, because I think he's really becoming an actor that so many people love, and if he does something and it's well reviewed and if it's seen, I think he'll get in. Then I'm going to put Sam Jackson for The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. I think that what this show benefits is, I believe, is he, like, I feel like he's playing like his character at like different stages of his life. Like it's a very
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so I feel like that it's quantifiable acting because you can see the transformation. But as we talked about with Amanda Seyfried for The Win, I think what will help him get the nomination is just he's due for something like this. Like he doesn't get a lot of awards attention. Like he didn't get nominated for like The Hateful Eight, and I feel like
Should have.
he's a great actor, and I think this is a good showcase for him if people see it. The question is if people see it. I do think Pam and Tommy has more awareness, but I also don't necessarily think like I could see a lot of people turned off by Sebastian Stan and think it's a caricature, put him in the same category as Jared Leto and We Crashed. Like I could see those two guys canceling each other out, and then Sam Jackson just getting in there with the people who just really love him. Kind of similar to what happened when John Travolta got nominated for OJ. And it was just like, oh, Pulp Fiction. I didn't mean to make that connection. But like, you know, you gave great performances, you came to television, you did another great performance, and we're going to remember you. So I'm going to put Sam Jackson in my 6. I just also think it would be great to see him in there. And I also wonder, I didn't pick Viola Davis. I feel like we're going to want some actors of color. So maybe this is also me hoping that we don't have 6 white guys and we
Very
get
true.
some like Himesh Patel again, potential. We should just mention him because I feel like
he's really good.
Yeah,
He's incredible in that show.
Paul Bettany too, really loved. So yeah, but I feel that I think Sam Jackson will go through.
Yeah, I agree. As you mentioned, Himesh Patel is someone who I would want to shout out. He's probably my favorite character in that show. He was really good. And also, no chance of happening, but I would honestly say he should contend for winning. Hamish Linklater for Midnight Mass was just a masterwork in acting. He's incredible. But that show has no buzz. So it sadly will not happen, but it should happen just because he was so good. Yeah. That is limited actor. Now on to limited supporting actress. Okay, this is a fun one. This is fun. I think we should all have
race. I think.
I agree. Oh God, I really agree. This top 2 is. I'm
3
very
horse
conflicted.
race to appease our maid fan with Utaka.
Yeah, the 3rd horse, just a little behind the other 2 horses, but it's
rising though.
It's rising, possible.
It's funny if I can just say, I feel like all 3 of these actors are like the same type of narrative. I feel so it's interesting. It's just whichever show can get them there. But I feel like all of these actors are people. They're like they've done yeoman's work for their career. They've always delivered. And now this is a chance for all of them to have like a really meaty role. So it's interesting to see that like all 3 of them go up against each other in very different genres too. Like what's going to resonate stronger? It's very interesting.
Yeah, they are all overdue for some love. But you know me, even though I think the number 2 is probably more likely, there's no way if Toni Collette even has a slight chance that I'm not putting her at number 1. One of my favorite actresses in existence ever. She's incredible. And she's incredible in the show. Especially, there's one scene, I won't mention just spoilers, but there's a few scenes in the 4th episode where she's really good. I think that show really relies on her and the flashbacks, and I think she just kills it. Just incredible. Jennifer Coolidge is the obvious number 2 here for White Lotus. She's really good in it, and she's over. I mean, as you saw, I forget where. I think maybe that means last year. There's a lot of love for her.
Yes,
with that
absolutely.
applause that happened. Yeah, there's a lot of love for her, and I think everyone wants to show her, give her due.
When she presented Jason Sudeikis with Best Actor, and she was like, all of our nominees have something in common. What is it? They have all had the extreme trouble in this industry of being men. Bravo, gentlemen. It was a great. All of the presenters, when Bowen Yang did his steps bit and said, Kevin Feige, I'm athletic. That was a fun ceremony last year.
Yeah, the Oscars should take notes because the Emmys have been doing good presentation.
And I hope they bring back the stage setup because I loved having the like all of the nominees on like the side, and then I don't know. It was a fun.
It was well laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
It was like the Oscars when like the pandemic forced them to change, but they were able to like actually deliver a good show, despite
Yeah.
also not giving the award to a posthumous black actor and giving it to a British actor who wasn't even at the ceremony. The fact that it
Yeah.
happened twice is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
A little more
Um,
egregious at the Emmys, I would say,
yeah, I
in
mean,
my opinion.
given
Performance wise, at
yeah,
least.
because Anthony Hopkins in The Father is like one of the best performances in that
Next
category
level.
in recent memory. It's so good.
Yeah.
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 And as a
I agree.
WandaVision fan, then it was a hard ceremony to watch as a WandaVision fan, but other than that,
Yeah.
it was a good
Yeah.
show. I mean, you can't get upset when people like Michaela Cole win. Like that was a beautiful speech.
Yeah. That was lovely.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I
I
digress.
agree. So yes, Jennifer Coolidge is my number 2. Really good in that show. Then Maid, I can't really speak to it, but Andy McDowell in Maid, I'm sure she's really good in it. That's all I can really say. Same for Caitlin Dever in Dopesick. Haven't seen it. I'm sure she's really good in it. I also have Connie Britton for The White Lotus. I think she was really good in that show. She had a lot. She had, especially, I forget which episode, but she had like a freak out episode. I thought that if you submit an episode, I'd submit that one just because there's a lot of good moments in there for her.
Do you
And then
have to submit
last,
an episode for limited series, or do you just submit the series?
I think you would still have to submit an
I'm
episode,
gonna do
but
that.
I'm not completely sure. And then and then last place I have Laurie Metcalf for The Dropout, who also just recently showed up on Hacks. She's just a true character actor. I mean, she's weed on Hacks, and she's just the past 2 episodes been, I think, a comedic standout. But she was also a really good standout here. So I hope she gets in there. And also, just I haven't seen the show, but shout out to Ellen Bernstein for The First Lady. You deserved to at least be nominated for what was it called? Pieces of a Woman.
Pieces of a
She was
Woman.
incredible. But instead, I guess Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy could get in.
Hey,
She was
I'm
good
not
in that
sure Ellen
movie.
Burstyn would have done the debut on national television.
That's very true.
So
Very true.
we're very fortunate to have that
We are.
memory.
We are.
That was the moment. After that, all went downhill.
It was. That was truly the highlight of the show. What do you have, Anthony, for limited series actress or supporting actress?
So I think the fact that she's coming back for the second season proves how much Jennifer Coolidge owned this role, and I have her as my number 1. I think that she is so brilliant in this performance. She captures the energy of the show, and it's a very distinct energy. It's a very hard role, and she just masters it. I think what helps too is that there's not another actor who I feel could have played this role. It feels very much like this is Jennifer Coolidge's role, where like Toni Collette, what's so great about Toni Collette is how she's able to be a chameleon. She's like so many different things, where this performance kind of feels like the pinnacle of Coolidge's career in a way.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I have her at 1, Toni Collette at 2. Also, I feel like Toni Collette, wasn't she nominated for like what was that show? Unbelievable with Caitlin Dever, funny enough, who's also in this category.
I believe she was, yes.
But like that's the other thing is Toni Collette gives such great work routinely that
She's
it's
always not noticed. It
that's the
annoys me
problem.
incredibly.
So where Coolidge, I'm not sure, is always nominated. So this may be a
She
chance.
gets less opportunities too.
Yeah, so she may pop more. Like when you're looking at the ballot, you're like, oh, Jennifer Coolidge. Oh, I love Legally Blonde. Check.
Yeah.
I love
Snap.
the Emoji Movie. Check. So I'm gonna put Coolidge as 1, Collette is 2, McDowell as 3, because I think Maid again is going to be your underdog favorite that will do, I think will gain support, and I think a lot of people do respect her. Dever is 4, who's really creating such a wonderful career for herself, and I'm so happy for her. One of the few bright spots in the Dear Evan Hansen abomination.
Oh my God.
5, Laurie Metcalf, and then 6, it's very tough for me. I don't think Connie Britton's going to get in there because I think her and Alexandra Daddario are going to cancel each other out.
That's very possible. I just don't know who I'd put in though.
Variety has Faith Hill in their 6th spot, but I'm not sure if 1883 is going to have the same pop. So Anna Klumsky for Inventing Anna, but if I don't think Julia Garner's getting in there, I don't think she'll get in there. So I'm torn. I think you know what? I think I'm going to put Daisy Edgar Jones in for Under the Banner of Heaven. I think she's with When the Crawdads Sing. Is that the movie that's coming out?
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Maybe
she's
Where the
kind of,
Crawdads.
yeah, whatever that title is of the
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon produced movie. I think she's making a statement as a like, look at me, I'm this rising talent. And I think if because Andrew Garfield is getting nominated, I think they may also nominate her. And also, like, the rest of them are all streamers. It's HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu.
Yeah.
So this is FX, which granted has a tie-in with Hulu, but I feel like that may help her because then it's not coming from a streaming campaign. Like she'll be on her own more.
True.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson and Dowd, again, potential, but I don't think so.
Yeah. She also had Fresh, which she was very good in.
Yeah, which if that gets in for TV movie, maybe then there's like, oh, that's the girl from this, nominate her.
Very true.
Yeah. I think.
So how about you, Taka? What do you have for support?
I mean, number one, Jennifer Coolidge. That's a given, honestly. And it was such a great performance. And, for somebody who's been in the industry so long and has really put out a lot of great comedic performances, it was also great to kind of see those slightly dramatic elements. I still felt it was more comedic, but I loved it either way. It was a great performance. I do think Caitlin Dever is going to move up over Andie MacDowell. That's just, again, I feel like Dopesick is still on the upswing. I think that's more because of Michael Keaton, but I could see that still continue to carry over. I think in my fourth spot would be Toni Collette. Who knows? I need to see these other episodes, but I'm sure that will rise. And then I would say 5 is probably going to be Laurie Metcalf in The Dropout, and because I'm such a Maid stan, I'm gonna put Anika Noni Rose in my 6th spot. I don't see that happening. I don't know why, because there is a lot, there's still some other great performances, but again, on the upswing. So I'm hoping and praying that Netflix is like, guys, keep talking about Maid. It's just me. It's a really good show. I think you'd change your mind if you watched it, but that's where I'm at.
And it seems to be Netflix's really only big contender here. Unlike, it seems like HBO and Hulu both have multiple shows to push here, so that could also help. So
well, they have Inventing Anna, but that one kind of
I don't think that's
bizzed
not
out.
It
was not.
That seemed again more like an entertainment. When the most talked about thing is that clip of her going, I do not have time for this. That's when I was like, all right, this isn't a major contender.
Yeah.
That's what the show's going to be known for. That's the thing. When shows get boiled down to a clip, something's wrong. That's what happened with Viola Davis in First Lady, and that's what happened with Inventing Anna. I think that's why they're not going to be major players, because television is so vast, there's so much time that when it can be isolated to 10 seconds, something's wrong.
That's actually that's true.
Yeah, very true. So that's supporting actress. Go Toni Collette, but I wouldn't be mad if Jennifer Coolidge won. But that's that. Now on to our last one. We've got limited supporting actor. This one's a little easier for me to say, thankfully. At number 1, I have Murray Bartlett for The White Lotus. I think, in my opinion, the standout of the show. It's kind of an ensemble cast. I would say he's probably kind of more of a lead, but who knows? He was really good.
In the way all the Modern Family actors went supporting. I feel like ensemble pieces I'm fine with. I think it shows a respect for your fellow actor that you're not taking the spotlight from them. So I always like when these ensemble pieces they go supporting. And I think it's not category. I don't think it's as big a category fraud as been in.
There's much worse that there could be. But yeah, I think he was the standard of the show. I haven't seen it, but Peter Sarsgaard in Dopesick. Peter Sarsgaard is a really good actor, so I'm sure he's incredible in it. Then I've got Michael Stuhlbarg not for Dopesick, for The Staircase. He's incredible in that show. I would say outside of Colin Firth and Toni Collette, he's the other best performance there. He plays a lawyer. He does great lawyering performance stuff. So yeah, he's really good.
Can we nominate a limited series of just the one scene that was good from Doctor Strange that he was in?
Oh God.
Best scene
Poor
in the
Michael
movie.
Stuhlbarg. He deserves so much better than that poor role. Poor guy. And he was amazing in Call Me by Your
Poor
Name.
guy. He probably collected a nice check for that
He
performance.
did. Yeah. I just think he deserves better. Next I've got Seth Rogen for Pam and Tommy. I'm not quite sure about this, but he is Seth Rogen. I think he's decent in the show. I mean, he's doing kind of Seth Rogen-y stuff, but with a little bit of a different tint to it. Then I should have him higher. Actually, I have Naveen Andrews for The Dropout. I should definitely move him up. I don't know why I have him at number 5. He, outside of Amanda Seyfried, I mean, definitely the other standout. He's probably just as important to that show working as she is. So he's really good. And then last place, I also have William H. Macy from The Dropout, who plays a good crazy man there. And I think they like some crazy man performances. And he's William H. Macy. So yeah, those are my 6. What do you have, Yutaka, for supporting actor?
We're all the same on number 1. I mean, it's Murray Bartlett, I would assume. But Murray Bartlett for White Lotus. I think Peter Sarsgaard for Dopesick. Obviously, Naveen Andrews from The Dropout. I do love The Dropout. I think he does a great performance. I still think Amanda Seyfried has the better chance, but I'm still going to put him at 3. I don't know about Seth Rogen only because I think Anthony brought up a very good point in terms of, this whole film. And I mean, Pamela Anderson did not want this made. So it's, so I don't know. And, I'm going to go with Nick Robinson for Maid and then Michael Stuhlbarg for Dopesick, my 6th.
Poor Michael Stuhlbarg is fighting himself here. Hopefully it doesn't mess him up.
I want to lead with the Seth Rogen thing because I find his performance very problematic for me. He was an executive producer who was a major force behind the show, and he plays the guy who leaked the sex tape. Yeah. And there is a lot of screen time that is dedicated to him. We start the show with his perspective, and there's a lot of time given to redeem his character or at least sympathize with his plights of why he did what he did. And I find that to be very disgusting, on top of the fact that it was a show that did not get the consent of the person that they were hitting.
No, I agree.
So all of my problems with Pam and Tommy, I feel like he is the epitome of. So I have a major issue, and I hope he doesn't get nominated because I feel like it just felt like he found an opportunity to find a star vehicle for himself, and he just made the show, and it felt very oh, if I make a show about Pamela Anderson's sex tape, it felt like the actual thing. I'm gonna use Pamela Anderson's sex tape as a way to sell myself and get praise. And so I could not believe how hypocritical this show ended up being. And again, they're lucky that I thought Stan was fine, but the show was lucky that it had Lily James and Taylor Schilling. I thought when the women were able to speak their minds, I think similar to my problems with Multiverse of Madness, you could tell that there weren't a lot of women, I think, that had major control over shaping the series. So I hope he doesn't get in. So he's not going to be on my list. But I also don't think he will. He would only get in if just the name Seth Rogen. But even we're looking ahead for the Fabelmans, I don't think he'll get in for that. I think Paul Dano has a stronger chance. So I just don't think he's not the Jonah Hill. Where Jonah Hill, he is considered a serious comedic actor, and he will get in for Wolf of Wall Street and Moneyball. I don't think Seth Rogen is that. So number 1, Murray Bartlett, of course, iconic performance, really great, holds the show together. Peter Sarsgaard is 2. Glad to see him here after his head was blown off in the Batman. What a great scene. Then Naveen Andrews, The Dropout. William H. Macy, The Dropout. Michael Stuhlbarg, Dopesick. All really great actors. And then I'm struggling between Jake Lacey in The White Lotus, which I think was such a great performance, and he plays such a great douchey white guy. It was so great. But then Sam Waterston in The Dropout, I feel just maybe it's a lot of Dropout. But I think the Emmys have shown that they can manage a lot of different actors. And I feel that Sam Waterston, like he's such like a titan of television that in a way it might be a way to honor like him for stepping out of like wasn't it like Law and Order? Was that the show he did?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember from Friends when Joey watches with his grandmother and she points at TV and goes, Sam Waterston! And Chandler goes, she doesn't know hello, but she knows Sam Waterston. I have a problem. I have every episode of Friends up here.
Yeah, no, he's been on that
show.
show since for at least almost 14, 15 years.
Yeah, so I feel like this might be a fun, like, oh, he did something else. I imagine it was a great performance. So, like, I think I'm going to put him at 6 in protest of Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's very like a problematic thing, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really want to have him in there, but I just do see it as more of a possibility than a lot of the other people down there. I may kick him out for Nick Robinson in Maid. I think that's definitely possible if that show keeps its buzz going. But yeah, we shall see.
Will Poulter and Dopesick, maybe. It depends on how strong. But he's another actor that I think maybe. Because if Caitlin Dever gets in, maybe he could go along for the ride.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I think if Jake Lacy got in and there were 2 for White Lotus, 2 for Dopesick, and 2 for Dropout, I feel like that'd be nice symmetry that I would like. A lot of Hulu, though, because of all the Dopesick and Dropout nominees in the category.
Hulu has had a good year with their shows.
Tim McGraw for 1883 is the only other one that's being rumored about. We'll see. Well, if 1883 shows up, then Yellowstone needs to be taken really seriously in other categories because it shows how strong the brand is.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a pretty strong brand after this most recent prequel was announced with the casting.
That will definitely get nominations.
That shocked the hell out of me. Yeah. I'm like, I'm sold. I'll watch it.
Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren? Are you kidding me?
Did you see what SNL Weekend Update did where they were like, Harrison Ford cast in Yellowstone. He will be playing, he's a 75-year-old man. And then Helen Mirren, 72, is playing his grandmother.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense. Yep. That's Hollywood for you.
Yeah. But the other thing, too, is like Paramount Plus really hasn't had an award season yet, really.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see how they manage this. Yellowstone, I think, is their version of Ted Lasso, where it is their like crowning achievement show.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see how much it'll be effective. It's something that will be interesting as we get into House of the Dragon to see like what are the like Better Call Saul was able to do it in terms of like building off the success of its predecessor. So it'll be interesting because 1883 and Yellowstone are kind of hitting at the same time. Could they have a dual successor? Because I feel like a lot of times the prequel series or like the spin-off series happen after, and so you award it because you love the original. But if the original is also up for categories, like, are you going to vote freely elsewhere because you feel like you already covered Yellowstone? It'll be an interesting, again, that's why I'm not predicting it, because I feel like they're going to take care of it in other places, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think they'll take care of it with Yellowstone. I think those shows also have the benefit, at least right now, of also playing on cable, which I'm sure there's still some voters who have cable, even though it's dying out.
And they love to see big headlines, and Paramount, or at least Yellowstone, has had a huge season premiere. So
definitely bringing in the numbers. But yeah, that is limited series. Any last words on any of these shows and categories you would like to speak out about?
No, it won't happen, but if it did, it'd be really cool. But I would love to see Alex Newell get a Best Supporting Actor in Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. Just throwing it out there. I don't think it'll happen because I mean, I don't see any of the cast sadly being nominated. I just see the show, but which is a shame. So,
yeah, I'm looking over this list. I mean, I love this character so much, and I thought I didn't hate the show. I enjoyed it because I love Marvel. But I think Florence Pugh is Yelena. I just love that performance so much. And I think a lot of like the monologue where she's eating the mac and cheese, and like also like when she's crying on the ice rink, like I mean, Florence Pugh is just such like I maintain that she's this generation's Meryl Streep. I think she has such a range and has such a wonderful like when she was able to make Amy sympathetic in Little Women, I was like, this is somebody to look out for. And then I assume Yutaka is a fan of Midsummer, given his 4-hour podcast, and I thought she was absolutely
absolutely fantastic in that. That was a performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oscar
if I'm going to go Meryl Streep. Yeah, but
I would say maybe
think,
Saoirse Ronan is there.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, that entire Little Women cast is like the best.
That's
Besides
true.
Emma Watson.
Yeah.
But just, hey, Emma Watson. Hey, she's
good. I just don't know if her range is quite the same.
Not many people could, because with inflation, not many people could lead a $1 billion movie at 10 years old. I think we need to give those three some, like we see how many big franchise movies flop, and like they had to do it and carry the weight. That's why the Stranger Things kids.
Hold on though, but she also had Beauty and the Beast, and that was another $1 billion hit. Yeah. So I think she has the luxury in life to pick now what she wants to do versus having. I mean, it's same thing with Daniel Radcliffe, and I can't remember his name. Thank you. He's got a show on Apple TV Servants, mostly really good.
I think it's in like season 3. It's doing well.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they can choose. They have that luxury when it comes to roles, but yeah, I would say Florence Pugh is definitely on the up and up.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
That would be.
Saoirse Ronan's had how many Oscar noms though? So I would say she's like the Meryl Streep, like of our generation almost, if she could net a win.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hopefully.
No, I just think in terms of like range, like I think what's so great about Meryl, and then we'll finish this conversation on this tangent, is just like Meryl is as good in Sophie's Choice as she is in Devil Wears Prada, and she just bolsters everything. It's like whenever Florence Pugh is in something, I like.
So true.
Like when the Dune news came out, I was like, great, okay, the movie is going to be even. Like she's the type of actor that you add her, it's going to be better. And so for me, she delivered the energy that I think Hawkeye lacked overall. Like I think we talked about this somewhere else, maybe on the council. But like I think Hawkeye should have been a Disney Plus movie. I don't think it had the substance for 6 episodes, at least as it was presented with this story. But once she came in, like I was like, where have you been all my life? So as far as a supporting performance that supports the material, she was my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. She was very good, and looking forward to her. And Don't Worry, Darling. I think she will be incredible in that. So.
And your lovely little Dune sequel. And wait, isn't she going to be in Oppenheimer too?
She is. She's going to have a good year.
She's going to be in.
She's going to be a spy in Oppenheimer.
Following in the Scarlett Johansson trajectory of being multiple Best Picture nominees.
Yeah. Hopefully Nolan.
How Oppenheimer works.
Nolan's not great with writing female characters in the past, so hopefully he does better with this one.
Elizabeth Debicki in Tenet, I thought was a very nice. I thought that was a really good female character. But I like that movie. I think more than most people. Yeah. And Anne Hathaway in Interstellar was pretty good.
Yeah. I want to say
I grant you that he's more of a masculine filmmaker, but again, Florence Pugh is I think the type of actor that Emily Blunt too, that they're always the best parts of whatever movie they're in, and like even something like Jungle Cruise with Emily Blunt, like she's able to make that fun. So I feel like they would able to add the warmth if Nolan doesn't provide it himself. So we shall see.
Yeah. Also shout out to Jesse Plemons in Jungle Cruise.
Yes.
Also very good.
Hallucin.
Yes. I love him. Also going to be an Oscar nominee this upcoming year. So, yeah. Awesome. So, that was limited series and a little mini tangent at the end. Comment your predictions down below for what you think is going to get nominated. Like, subscribe for more Emmy content and Oscar content coming up soon. Any plugs you gentlemen want to throw out there, you may.
You talking?
Oh, yeah. We have a podcast YouTube channel called The Horror Hour, and we do reviews, rankings. Finally, we've done one, and interviews. So it's a fun time.
Go check that out. Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Check me out at Spoilers Ahead with Anthony Post. Got a lot of Stranger Things coverage coming up, and I think I'm going to save the MCU for Thor: Love and Thunder just because I've been dragging my feet with Moon Knight. I got to get on that show eventually.
Trailer drops tomorrow night, I think, right?
It's
the
true,
new trailer.
Oh, That's cool.
Or when
Yeah.
this has been uploaded, it dropped a couple days ago.
Oh,
Yeah, who knows? Maybe weeks ago. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and we will see you very soon.